for what I'm fixing to share. But I used to be a big-time heroin addict. I used to do 15, 20 balloons of heroin a day. Back then I just didn't want to live. You know, I lost my daughter at 3 months old. I lost her. She was taken from my arms. And I did a 2-year prison bid. Went to prison. I started doing what was right, you know, and everything like that. And started praying, even sung in the choir, something that you hardly ever see me do. I mean, I've been with my wife for almost a year, and she ain't even seen me sing one song. But I started doing right, started living for God and everything like that, and I got out and started right back on the heroin. 15, 20 balloons a day. And, you know, for God's grace and mercy, the reason I'm saying this, God's grace and mercy has actually brought me through being legally dead on monitors 3 different times from a drug heroin overdose. The first and second time, I didn't learn nothing. Before I even left the parking lot of the hospital, in my vehicle I was shooting up before I even cranked the car. The second time, the same thing. The third time, I quit. I thank God, dear Heavenly Father, thank you for I haven't touched it for 5 years. Not even but he's even brought me through a car crash. The ambulance drivers, the police officers that was there at the scene, told me I wasn't even supposed to be walking because the floorboard and the ceiling of the vehicle, except for where I was at, was completely caved in from ceiling to floor. Smashed. But the whole time, I flipped the car 4 different times, went down this embankment, went up in the air, it flipped in the air one time, came down on its top, flipped 3 more times, and the only thing that I felt when I was flipping in the air and everything was going on, well, I know what it is. It was God's arms keeping me strapped to that seat in that car. Like I said, the ambulance driver and the police driver told me that I wasn't even supposed to be walking, that I should have died on impact. But I got out of that car, and I was standing there shaking my head, holding my head when the police driver and the ambulance driver got there without a scratch on me. That's God.
Amen. Yes, it was.
I mean, yeah, I've been doing some things here recently that I shouldn't have been doing, that I came up here to the altar and gave my heart to God and told him that I'd never, pick it up again, but I did. I got home that night and the first thing I started to do, believe it or not, was scrape out my bowl. That was the devil speaking to me, telling me, that I should keep doing it because it's okay. It's not okay. Me and my wife have been fighting for the past month, probably a month and a half, something like that. She's been begging me to quit, telling me that I'm going to die and I'm going to die and I'm going to go to hell. That's not what I want. I want to be with my wife in heaven. I want to be with God in heaven. So, I'm sorry that I've taken up so much time, but if you will, every person in this church house tonight, if you will, pray for me.
What's your name, son?
Joshua Grant. But don't only pray for me, that I won't only not pick it up again, but every time that I smell it and I see it, it makes me sick. Every time I see it, every time that I crave it, I get sick instead of going to get it.
Amen, brother.
Pray the harshest prayer that you can. And I'll do the same thing. Pray with me, not for me, pray with me. Like David Horn, Brother Fraser told me before, don't pray for me, pray with me. And if you will, whatever it takes for God to take that out of my life. I don't, standing right now, I don't want it. I don't want it no more. When I get home, I'm taking my pipe and everything like that, and I'm throwing it out the door.
That's what God just told me when his spouse ago. He said, tell him that he needs to throw it out instead of clean it out this time. Throw it all out. Anything that's got to do with any of it, anything. I don't care what it is, anything at all.
I agree with you.
Destroy it. Don't even be able to put it in a place where you can go back and get it gone. I don't care if you got to put it I don't care what it is.
And you know, last time I gave it to my wife to throw away, and I think that's where I made the big mistake because wasn't man enough to take it and throw it away myself. This time I'm thinking I'm throwing it away myself. I'm gonna try something different this time.
God will honor your actions.
I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna throw it away myself, and like I said, if every person in this church house would pray for me and be there for me, I've got Brother Fraser on my Facebook account. I can talk to him. And anybody else, if y'all will, you know, if it's put on your heart to give me your number, I'll call you and I'll talk to you when I need something.
Abstain from the very appearance of the people. If you run the other way, you see one of your old buddies coming that you've done that stuff with, they may not understand, but your life depends upon it. You run the other way.
Right.
I agree with that too.
And
But,
you got to make effort also to if you, I don't care if it's driving to work or walking to work or whatever it is. If you know that if you go down this road or through this part of town or whatever, and you see a house or you see people or you see things that remind you,
so I'll be honest with you, I better not even walk out my back door again.
You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying though, right?
We live in the project, so it's right out there.
Because the people that I was doing it with, the people that I saw called so-called friends that turned their back on me even after $5, God never turned his back on me for $5.
Really?
I think God got killed with fire.
I mean, he never done that. You know, he never stopped being my friend. He was always there for the times that I was, you know, putting the nails, you know, like me and he was praying. The times I was putting the nails deeper and deeper in his hands and feet, he was still there for me. Every time that I sinned, he was still there for me. And I just, you know, I need to realize that. I need to get my head out of my butt, if you will. You know, realize, hey, you know, God does love me. If he will bring me through 3 heroin overdoses, stop me from doing heroin, and bring me through a car wreck, he loves me.
It's got a purpose and a plan for your life.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the drugs and alcohol has never done anything for me. Now that I'm thinking about it with the love I've had, the drugs and alcohol has never done nothing for me to bring me heartache and pain.
Amen. It means it.
And emptied my wallet even quicker than I wanted it to be.
Yeah.
So people, if you will, you know, every person in here, if you will, please pray for me that I'll continue to do what is right, that I'll grow stronger and stronger in the Lord.